What up, Eagles gang? It's your boy, We Bleed Green. First and foremost, like and subscribe to the channel. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'm back. I'm trying to get back on my YouTube videos and everything and talk about the Eagles, talk about the Birds, and everything that's going on with our team right now. But this video here in particular is for Nick Sirianni. Now, in some ways, I'm going to critique Sirianni, but at the end of the day, I'm going to talk more so of his defense too. Now, first and foremost, I'm going to get right into it. First and foremost, what this fan base has to understand is this. Like, we have to stop putting everybody under fire and under the microscope so soon. Sirianni never coached a day in his life. He's never been a head coach in the NFL a day in his life. This is his first head coaching gig. He has a lot of coaching things on his resume, but he has never been a head coach. And sometimes the worst thing you can be, the worst situation you could be in is Philadelphia. And regardless of who get offended or whatever, let me explain that. You have the typical fan base, and then you have the Philadelphia fan base. The Philadelphia fan base is going to put you under the microscope and be 10 times, 20 times as harder on you than any other fan base. So that goes for you being a rookie coach. You could be a interim coach taking over the game for a coach that just got fired. They're gonna put you under this microscope, and I always say this. They call it passion and whatnot, but sometimes it's just unfair criticism. Now, I'm not saying Sirianni don't deserve some of the criticism that he get, but to do something so simple as make a flower analogy a bad thing. If you listen to what Sirianni said in his press conference, what he's clearly saying is we can't move forward without laying our foundation first. Now, if you know me, I haven't been doing videos like this, but I go live on Facebook a lot and I talk about this. The first thing I said about this team is we have to establish what our identity is. Now, if you label that to building a house or construct architect, laying a blueprint for a building, first and foremost, you have to establish what you're going to build. You have to establish your identity. In football, it's a little bit different because nobody knows what type of team you are until you go out and you prove it. So, as an architect, you lay the blueprint. You draw out the blueprint. You draw out the floor plans. You do everything. So when Sirianni said the roots have to grow first, how can people take that the wrong way? It's not fair for everything that come out this man's mouth to be used against him. Yeah, he could have used something better than flowers, but what would have happened had he said something different? Like if he would have said guns, if he would have said lions in the jungle, if he would have said anything to make fans and unfair analysts think anything more than this team being 2-5, he would have got criticized for that because that's how it is in Philadelphia. We are so unfair. I get it. He does deserve some criticism for the way he coaches this team. But everything that comes out of this man's mouth is unfair to critique everything. He's simply saying the roots, which is the foundation, which is you establishing your identity. Basically, what I got from that Sirianni press conference when he talked about that was we have to establish our foundation first and work from there. So if we out there on the field where he lay watering plants, then you'll see the flower grow. If we're out there on the field and we're doing our jobs and we're running the right routes, we're catching passes, we're executing plays, we constantly watering this flower to blossom and grow into something beautiful, which this team can become. How can you possibly, because he talked about flowers? It's so unfair how this man's getting this treatment and it's only his 8th game he's going to coach in his life. We cannot keep constantly doing this to everybody that comes to this city. Philadelphia fans need to establish patience. I don't know where we get this whole aura and demeanor about us that we can just criticize everybody. Like, we're not a city that wins a million championships. We're not a city that wins so many championships that we could just sit there and demand that you bring excellence to us. Now, I get it. Every fan base deserves to feel that way. But to the extreme that we take it, you would think we always was a city that win championships. Like, you would think our Eagles football team have 6-7 Lombardis in the trophy case. You would think the Philadelphia Phillies have 10 10 World Series trophies in the case. You would think the Sixers would have 10, 15 Larry O'Brien trophies in the case. I get it. We demand excellence from everybody. But sometimes you have to let people grow. You have to let people make mistakes, obstacles. Now this is not for all fans or all analysts in the city, because I'm sure it was a lot of us that said we don't expect the team to be great this year. Me personally, I went into this season 50-50. I said, listen, I understand what's going on. We got a rookie coach. We got a defensive coordinator who this is first year coaching, being a defensive coordinator. We have a lot of inexperience on this team. So with inexperience comes learning experience, comes obstacles, comes bumps in the road. Like, why do we have this analogy about life, but we can't put this same analogy on football, on sports? He's in his first year. He's not going to be Bill Belichick in his first year. He doesn't have the playmakers on this team for us to be putting him under the microscope the way we do. And if you look at the games that he's coached in, some games was flat out terrible. Don't get me wrong. But case in point, the Kansas City game. We playing at home. We had 3-4 touchdowns called back. It's enough for me for a coach to call a play that ends in a touchdown. Now, for that play to get called back because of senseless penalties on our inexperienced offense, I'm not going to blame that on the coach. So if you call a play that ends with a touchdown pass, but an offensive player gets a senseless penalty call that calls back that play, not just touchdowns, it could be a 40-yard bomb that get called back because of offensive pass interference. It could be a screen pass that goes for 50 yards that get called back because of illegal block in the back. These players on the field are inexperienced. Now, you're going to have mistakes being made by young wide receivers. You're going to have bad blocks being made that get called penalties. The offensive line, for example, Sirianni calls a lot of plays where Jalen Hurts is supposed to had already gotten rid of the ball. So then the play gets called back because ineligible player downfield. Like, all of these things I expected us to go through. What I didn't expect in the fan base defense was Sirianni lack for running the ball. I didn't expect that. I expected, you to come in and you to coach this team with basic fundamentals first. Like, get them into the mindset of doing the right things first. Like, you ain't got to come out and be excellent right away. Fans like me understand you're in your first year as a coach and you're dealing with a lot of inexperience. You're not dealing with the Super Bowl roster that Doug Peterson had in 2017, where you have Alshon Jeffrey, you have Torrey Smith, you have LeGarrette Blount, you went out and you grabbed Jay Ajayi, you added all of these players that understand what it takes to succeed in the NFL. They understand what it takes to execute the proper game plan. They know what blocks to make. You had a lot of guys we're not dealing with that right now. So it's unfair for everything that come out of this man's mouth to be criticized because we're not winning. Sirianni deserves to come here, have whatever first season he's going to have, and build off that. Now, let's say we go, 2-5 right now? So we got 10 games left in the season. Let's say for the rest of the season we go 4-6. 4-6. We will be 6-11 on the season. Now, that's not a lot going into next season to build off of. It is a lot to build off of, but it's not a lot to instill confidence in the fan base that you're going to go and turn it around in your second season. But let me explain something to everybody. When Doug Peterson was in his first season, we had 16 games. He went 7-9. So 6-11, let's just say 6-10 to make it 16 games too. That's only one game worse than what Doug Peterson was in his first year here. But the difference is Doug had a quarterback that the fan base had faith in. Doug had a quarterback that the fan base was urging the front office and the coaching staff, go out and get him more weapons. He needs playmakers. He needs this. He needs that. We don't have that same energy when it comes to Jalen Hurts. Why? Why aren't fans screaming Jalen Hurts needs better weapons? Why aren't fans saying Nick Sirianni, you need to go out and get better weapons, because if you come into this next season with this same team, we're not going to get anywhere. Nobody says that. They want to criticize the coach and they want to criticize the quarterback. It's the same thing with Sam Bradford. When Sam Bradford was here, we drafted Carson Wentz a year later. Sam Bradford played with the same receiver that Carson Wentz played with. But for Wentz, it was get him weapons. For Sam Bradford, it was he just a bum, get him the hell out of Philly. My point is, we pick and choose who we want to pick on, but this guy is in his first year as a coach. If you understand that he's a rookie coach, he's not Bill Belichick. He's not Mike McCarthy. He's not Mike Tomlin. He's not Andy Reid. He's not any of them guys. He's not even Ron Rivera yet. He's a first-year coach dealing with an inexperienced offense that needs to find their identity. So yes, when he gets in a press conference and says it's all about the roots growing, once the roots start to grow and we keep watering that flower and I took from that, once we lay our foundation and we establish our footing and we finally figure out what we are, we lay the foundation. If we keep watering this plant and the roots keep extending, the foundation keep growing and being built, once we lay the foundation is when we have our identity. Now, what comes from us watering this plant constantly and doing is everything we need to do on the field. If we need to stop missing blocks, if we need to stop getting senseless penalties when we got touchdown plays, if we stop and we correct all our mistakes and we do our job on the field, that's us watering this plant. And once we finally do everything we need to do, we laid the foundation. We watered the plants. We got it together on the field. Then you're going to see how beautiful this team can be on offense when we go out and we play games. All, in the sense of you're going to see this beautiful flower blossom. But because he used flowers, everybody wants to take that and make it a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, man. Like, they need to leave this man alone and just let him do his job. Like I said, I get that certain things from this man frustrate the fan base. I'm frustrated because he don't want to run the ball. But I can't do anything about that as a fan. I just have to hope that this man gets it together and understand, what we expect of him and what he needs to do to correct things. But I'm not going to put this man head in the guillotine because he's making the same, he's doing things that a rookie coach is going to do. Every other fan base, when they have a coach that's a rookie or a first-year coach, they usually get a year to analyze everything that they have. And then they come back a year later and they say, okay, we're not real strong here, so we need to get better there. Maybe we can tighten up that position through the draft, or maybe we could pull a free agent to plug in right there. Okay, we had a problem at running back last year. It was partially my fault because I never wanted to run the ball. But we need a solid, strong running back behind our starting running back. We need to do that. This is everything Doug Peterson in the front office did in his second year. They went out and they said, we need to get better at wide receiver. They snatched Alshon Jeffrey. They snatched Torrey Smith. We need a solid running back. We need a solid running game. They went out, they got LeGarrette Blount. Mid-season, they signed Jay Ajayi. They constantly added to the team, and they addressed every position we need, and we won the Super Bowl. Why can't Nick Sirianni get that same leverage? Why? Like, I don't understand it. Like, why we got to put this man under so much fire, and he's just a rookie coach. It's not fair to keep doing that to everybody that come and coach this city. It's not fair to do that to everybody who come play for this city. This is why people don't want to come to the city of Philadelphia and play professional sports, because they look at the fan base a certain way. And we sum it up to being passionate, but it's not always passion. Sometimes it's just stupid. It's disrespectful. It's unfair. You cannot do this to this man in his first year as a rookie head coach. He has to understand the assignment first before he can get anything corrected. We've played 7 games. We've won 2 games. And mind you, this man has played harder teams. He has played tough teams. He ain't been playing slouch teams. So y'all expect a rookie coach to come out here, got a rookie inexperienced offense, do everything right, and not talk about what analogy he wants to talk. They've been clowning this man from his first press conference he ever did. If I saw Sirianni face to face, the only thing I would say to him is, you have to understand. Now, I know it's 10 times harder because you're coaching in the city of Philadelphia, but you have to understand, being in the first year, you have to cover the basic fundamentals first. I understand, you want to go out there and prove to these top quarterbacks and these top head coaches that, oh, y'all want to fling the ball downfield on y'all first drive. I'm not afraid to have Jalen Hurts sling the ball downfield either. I get that. But, sir, you have to understand, You got to cover the basic fundamentals of football first. That's first and foremost. You have to run the ball. You can't just go out there and throw. You got a quarterback that can use his legs. You got running back that can use his legs. You have to understand that. You have to maximize the potential there first. Run the ball, establish the run, get the defense to respect the run, and then it opens up the passing game. You don't go out there and pass just because the opposing quarterback is passing against you. You have a job to do. Now, what I will say is everything up until this 7 games, you have to take whatever you got from these first 7 games and learn from it. And you got to come out stronger for the second half of the season. If you're able to do that, you might convince this fan base to let you stick around for another year. Give you another shot at it. See where your head is at for the second year. But we can't keep running everybody out the city. We're never going to, first and foremost, the top coaches in the league are never want to come here. They never want to come coach in Philly. Because they know how the fan base are. They know how the media is. They know how the sports analysts are. This is why we don't get top players in the city of Philadelphia. Because the fans don't draw people in. They push people away. Oh, no, I'm not going to play for Philly. Do you see how that media trash their players? Do you see how the fans come at their players? No, hell no, I don't want to play for Philly. And believe it or not, a lot of us don't want to admit it. And y'all might think I'm wrong, but it's the truth. Sirianni is a first-year head coach, y'all. A first-year head coach. Analyze everybody on offense that he has to coach. And understand that it was never going to be an easy assignment in his first year. It was never going to be that way. So, for us to criticize everything this man does because we frustrated him is wrong. Y'all, we have to stop doing that. We got to learn how to rally behind people when they down. Lift their spirits up and then get them out on the field. And if they still not executing, then you say, okay, we done gave you the tough love. We done been hard on you. We done damn near ran you out the city. But it was also a point in time where we were 100% behind you. And throughout all of that, you haven't proven anything to us for us to say, we still want you here. So you got to go, bruh. I mean, maybe you'll find success elsewhere, but it's just not here. Like, it's just, we're just not clicking. But let the man coach the team, man. Let him take his L's. Let him take his lumps. Let him take his hits on the chin. Let him go through these obstacles and see if that makes him a better coach. But he ain't never going to gain no confidence if everything he say out his mouth going to get laughed at and critiqued. So what he talked about Flowers? Look at his press conference again and understand what he was saying. The roots is the foundation. That's the football identity we trying to establish. Watering the plant, getting those roots to grow stronger. Watering the plant, finally you trying to get that flower to bloom. That's everything we need to do on the field, he's saying. We need to execute. We need to make the proper plays. We need to stop getting senseless penalties. We need to do our job on the field. That's a planter or gardener's job doing their job watering the plants. And when we finally get it together, y'all, the foundation is laid. We done watered that plant enough. Now you're starting to see that beautiful flower blossom. You're starting to see that beautiful offense come to life. You're starting to see the players make the right plays. You're starting to see our team be successful. That's what he meant by a pretty flower blooming. But it's just a shame that nobody took into consideration thinking that or trying to get down to the bottom of what he meant. They chose to clown this man first, and it's unfair. But at the end of the day, as long as Sirianni is our coach, I'm going to rock with him. I'm not going to run this man out the city when it was unfair from day one for him to be a rookie coach coaching in the city of Philadelphia, inexperienced offense. So Sirianni, I'm 110% behind you. I hope you get things corrected and we have a solid enough season for you to come back a year later and build off of it. The same opportunity we gave Doug Peterson. But as always, man, like and subscribe. Y'all see the shirt. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at we_bleed_green. You know, fly Eagles fly as always. Love y'all. I'll see y'all soon. I'll come back with another video as soon as I think of something. But until then, man, give Sirianni a shot, man. Peace, y'all.